Now, the interesting thing in all of this, as many of you know, is that evolution has been opposed in recent years by a concept called intelligent design. And the advocates of intelligent design say that the scientific community is closed-minded and will not deal with this new idea. So they have to have special help. And let me show you what I mean by this. They claim basically that intelligent design is this brand new idea. They overlook the fact that scientific communities deal with novel scientific claims all the time. So what do you do when you have that new idea? The answer is you do research to back it up. You submit that research to peer review. Now, peer review doesn't mean you send one article to one journal and then you whine and whimper if it gets rejected. All of us in science have papers rejected all the time. It means you show up at the scientific community. You participate in give and take. You argue. You go back and forth. And eventually, if your idea has merit, if it has evidence on its side, you know what's going to happen? You're going to win some sort of a consensus in the scientific community. Either that you're right, or even if people think you're not right, at least that it's a productive and useful idea. And then quite automatically, what's going to happen is that idea is going to wind up in classroom and textbook. Now, the advocates of intelligent design say, you know, we've got a new scientific idea too. And if they wanted to do exactly what I've shown here, to go through this process, I wouldn't have any objection at all. See at the cell biology meetings. See at the biochemistry meetings. Let's see your data. Let's argue about it. But their idea of how science should work is not like this. Their idea is a little bit more like this. A direct injection into classroom and textbook. And they actually seem to think that the scientific process is something that's best avoided. And to me, simply as a scientist, this is a dangerous precedent because it essentially argues that when you have a novel scientific idea, you don't do any of that messy stuff. You simply appeal to the state legislature, the state board of education, and you use political leverage to get your idea in the classroom. Even if your idea is right, that's the wrong way to do science. And that's one of my great concerns about this opposition to evolution. Now, the interesting thing is even the advocates of this idea of intelligent design admit it's a scientific failure. And here's what I want to show you. This is Philip Johnson. And I like, he's a retired professor of criminal law at the University of California. And I always like to tell people that intelligent design, like a lot of bad ideas, came out of the Berkeley campus. And that infected the rest of the country. And Johnson, who is a professor at Berkeley, admitted just about a year ago, he said, you know, I don't think there is. And Philip Johnson, I should add, is the intellectual godfather. No one would argue with this, of the intelligent design movement. He's the guy who has framed the debate for intelligent design folks. I don't think there really is a theory of intelligent design at the present time to propose as a comparable alternative to the Darwinian theory. And he says whatever errors evolution has, it's fully worked out. There is no intelligent design theory that's comparable. Our scientific people are convinced they can do it, but that's for them to prove. And then what he says, and remember this in Texas when you have arguments about this, Johnson says no product is ready for competition in the educational world. That's an astonishing admission. But certainly if someone says there is this wonderful alternative theory that we want you to consider, the very founder of the movement admits we don't have anything ready to go into the classroom. And that's worth pointing out.